We've been dancing around the essence of our topics, but we haven't really come out very clearly and made a statement about exactly what we're talking about. So I'm going to go back to a subject we discussed briefly the other day, because we're talking about the journey of Christ. We're talking about the pathway that brings the rest of us to the same place ultimately. And so when we were talking about the choice in the 4th century as to Christianity being made a state religion, if you will, Constantinople and at the time was the choice, Constantine, the emperor. And there was arguments that had been raging for 2 centuries, okay, or more, because this decision didn't get made until the 4th century, of Christ. Who was this person? What was this person? What did he really do? And how did he do it? Part of the argument here, and I'm going to read a little bit of, because it's well put out. One of the theology from Antioch is the insistence upon a real moral growth and development in Christ during his earthly life, period. Theodore dwells upon the fact of Christ possessing a free will, which necessarily involved his having undergone a process of development of his nature, period. In a very real sense, he underwent probation. So the life of Christ, according to this school, was a continual progress, and at every stage of this advance, Christ proved triumphant over all temptation as the result of his union with the divine Logos, until finally he overcame death and entered upon his glorious inheritance, period. The sinlessness and ultimate perfection of his manhood was due to the fact that in him the Logos dwelt, and he received of the Spirit without measure, period. So that theology breaks down when the question is to the manner of the union between the two natures of the one person discussed. And so they try to solve the problem by distinguishing between 3 possible modes of indwelling and so on and so forth. And eventually the 2 parties cannot agree. That's when they fold, now I'm talking 4th century, and just say there was one of him, his father is God, his mother is Mary, and that was an immaculate conception, and that's who he is. We're going to represent him in this religion. And they went forward and they co-opted our growth, potential growth as human beings, by just shutting the door on the paragraphs that I read earlier, period. But what we are doing here with the Bailey material in particular is following that journey with all of its steps to get to the end that Christ got to. And I'm not sure that's been clear in our discussion, so I just wanted to make that statement.